One of the greatest truths in life is that peace is an inside job. No matter how chaotic the world gets, no matter how others behave, you always have control over one thing: yourself. And that control is the gateway to emotional freedom. Anger is not something that simply happens to you. It is something you allow to happen within you. When you say, "They made me angry," you're unknowingly giving your power away. You're saying that someone else holds the remote control to your emotions. But here's the truth: nobody gets to push your buttons unless you let them. Once you understand this, you stop reacting and start responding with clarity, intention, and strength. Your inner world, your thoughts, your self-talk, your awareness is where every emotion is born. If your inner space is full of tension, insecurity, or unprocessed pain, then even the smallest trigger can spark a wildfire. But when your inner space is calm, clean, and self-aware, you become like a mountain, still and unmoved, even when the winds howl around you. This self-mastery doesn't come overnight. It takes daily practice. It begins with mindfulness, the ability to observe your emotions instead of becoming them. The next time you feel anger rising, don't act on it immediately. Pause, breathe, ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What belief is being challenged? What fear is being touched? That moment of reflection is powerful. It creates a gap between stimulus and response. And in that gap, you regain your control. You must also realize that controlling your inner world means managing your expectations. Much of our anger stems from expecting people to act a certain way, to be respectful, kind, or fair. And when they're not, we feel insulted, betrayed, or disappointed. But the more you cling to those expectations, the more you set yourself up for emotional turbulence. Let go of the illusion that you can shape how others behave. Instead, shift your focus inward and choose how you will behave, no matter the circumstances. Inner mastery also means developing emotional intelligence, understanding that emotions are messengers, not masters. Anger might be trying to tell you something, that a boundary was crossed, that something inside you needs healing, or that you're under too much stress. When you listen instead of explode, you can respond from a place of wisdom instead of a place of woundedness. The strongest person in the room is not the one who yells the loudest, but the one who stays calm when everyone else loses their head. When you master your inner world, you become emotionally untouchable. Others may still try to provoke you. Life will still throw challenges at you, but you, steady, aware, and grounded, will choose your response. That is true power. You don't need to control everything around you. You only need to control what's within you. Your thoughts, your reactions, your energy. That's where your freedom lives. That's where your strength is born. Most anger doesn't come from the situation itself. It comes from what we make that situation mean. Someone speaks over us, and we feel disrespected. Someone criticizes us, and we feel personally attacked. Someone ignores our message, and we feel unimportant. But in each of these moments, what truly gets triggered is the ego, the fragile self-image that demands recognition, validation, and constant defense. Ego is the voice inside that says, "How dare they?" It interprets every word and action as either a compliment or a threat. And because the ego is always trying to protect its image, it is constantly offended, constantly hurt, constantly in battle. But the truth is, not everything is about you. Most of the time, what others do has far more to do with their own internal struggles, beliefs, and insecurities than it does with you. When you're attached to ego, you take everything personally. A joke becomes an insult, a correction becomes an attack, a delay becomes a rejection. This is emotional slavery. Your peace is held hostage by how others behave. But when you detach from ego, you begin to see clearly. You begin to understand that someone else's anger, rudeness, or thoughtlessness is a mirror of them, not a reflection of your worth. Detaching from ego doesn't mean you let people disrespect you. It means you stop reacting to every perceived slight. You no longer let your emotions be dictated by how others see you. Because you have already defined yourself from within. Your value is not up for debate. You are not here to prove anything. When you deeply know who you are, the opinions of others, whether praise or criticism, lose their power over you. Ego thrives on identity. I am smart. I am respected. I am right. I am superior. And when anything challenges that identity, anger flares up as a defense mechanism. But when you loosen your grip on that identity, when you accept that you don't have to always be right, or liked, or admired, then insults don't sting the same way. You begin to live from a place of calm detachment, not coldness, but clarity. This detachment creates space to understand others, to see their pain, to rise above drama. You don't jump to conclusions. You don't seek revenge. You simply observe, reflect, and move wisely. You begin to choose peace over pride, clarity over chaos. Detachment from ego is a powerful act of emotional maturity. It's recognizing that other people's behavior is a reflection of their state, not a verdict on your identity. You stop needing the last word. You stop needing to be seen as the winner in every interaction. You find peace in not reacting, and that peace becomes your strength. You realize that dignity doesn't live in the loudest voice or the sharpest comeback. It lives in the person who can remain rooted in their self-worth, even when the world around them tries to pull them into conflict. Detachment from ego is the art of stepping back and seeing life from a higher perspective. In every challenging moment, you are presented with two options: react impulsively or respond intentionally. Most people live their lives in reaction mode, quick to get angry, quick to defend, quick to retaliate. But the wisest among us pause. They don't let emotions dictate their behavior. They choose to respond from a place of clarity, not chaos, from strength, not impulse. Reacting is automatic. It's often loud, fueled by pride, pain, and the need to prove something. But a response is measured. It comes from reflection, not reflex. And this simple difference can change your entire life. Because while a reaction may feel good in the moment, it almost always brings regret. A wise response, on the other hand, preserves your dignity, maintains your peace, and leaves no emotional mess to clean up afterward. Wisdom means seeing the full picture, not just how you feel in the heat of the moment, but how your words and actions will echo beyond that moment. Before responding, you ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? Is this response aligned with who I want to be? These questions act like filters, protecting you from falling into the traps of emotional drama and ego-driven arguments. Responding with wisdom also means learning the power of silence. Not every situation demands a reaction. In fact, silence is often the most powerful response to ignorance, provocation, or manipulation. When someone tries to drag you into negativity, your refusal to engage becomes your shield. You don't let them pull you into the mud. You stand above it, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. Emotional maturity is being able to sit with your feelings, anger, hurt, disappointment, without acting on them immediately. You process them, not project them. You ask, what's the lesson here? What's the higher road? And when you choose to respond calmly, you transform the energy of the moment. You turn a possible conflict into an opportunity for growth. You model emotional intelligence in a world desperate for it. There's deep power in composure. It doesn't mean you're weak or passive. It means you're in control. Responding with wisdom allows you to express your truth without aggression. You can set boundaries without shouting. You can say no without guilt. You can speak your mind without tearing someone else down. That's real strength. The ability to communicate with firmness and grace at the same time. In fact, how you respond during conflict reveals more about your character than the conflict itself. Anyone can be kind when things are easy, but staying centered when things are difficult, that's the mark of someone who has done the inner work. You become a thermostat, not a thermometer. You set the emotional temperature rather than being controlled by it. Responding with wisdom turns you into a leader of your own life. You're no longer pulled in different directions by temporary emotions. You pause, you think, you feel, and then you act with purpose.